We were watching together the April 2nd, Liberation Day, and initially the market went up at the beginning of the press conference.
Because he has said, 10% for everybody.
Yes, so the market expected reciprocity, like 10, 20%, whatever that is, because he campaigned on tariffs.
I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary. Because tariffs are going to make us rich as hell.
It wasn't a secret. It was well telegraphed. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Investing with Demetri. Today I have my good friend and co-host at the Market Buzz, Nestor Mendoza. Join us, like, subscribe. Let's get into the video. So the setup plays a huge role, the environment, financial conditions, and I mean, let's dive into Trump because it's because of Trump. If it wasn't for Trump, it was a soft landing like a month ago.
We landed the plane long ago. We're about to put it in the. We're about to retire the plane.
Yes.
Give the guy a Nobel, and
He was right there. Trump
was like, no, full steam ahead. What are you doing? Yeah. It's like I don't want. Like I also don't. It's like this analogy of the soft landing. I'm like, why do we need to land it? Like, can we? Like, are we running out of fuel?
No, you know what? So it's the scenario of the soft landing. So the soft landing basically means inflation came down and the economy and the labor market took a hit, but not so much. So the no landing scenario is inflation came down and the labor market did not even feel it. That's a no landing scenario, which we're getting neither of them because of Trump.
Now we're getting unemployment, maybe inflation, maybe more. Give me a little bit of spice.
Trump is killing.
I remember, and this is a little bit political, but I remember the Biden administration there, you would wake up and it was easy. It was easy to, not easy, but because Biden did have his issues. The way of the politician is a lot more subtle. It's a lot more influence, and the way of Trump is the Trump effect, which is like, you see that ladder? I'm going to break the ladder, and then I'm going to change the way that everything is done. I don't care.
Biden never cared about the market, like never. In his 40 years in public life, he never cared about markets. It would be weird for him to just start caring when he became president. But Trump, because he's a New York guy, okay, he knows what markets means in New York. You know what? I think he actually likes it. I think he likes it that he can hold all these New York guys that never liked him, by the way, because he's in real estate.
Yeah.
He always had that rivalry with the Wall Street guys, and now he has them. Now he has them, and he can bring the market upside down with just one tweet. And I think he likes that he has that power over the markets. Don't get me wrong. I think he wants the markets to go up because he wants to brag about it. But he's not helping. The first 3 months or so.
Yeah. The thing is, one of the big things I'm hearing with Trump is that he has a runway. The problem with Trump is that he's still part of the American democracy game, where in the next year and a half he has to deal with the midterms. He has to win those, he has to win control again, and he doesn't have the same runway that China or Russia have, which is like how long has Xi been president?
I mean, how long has it been? Since 2008 or whatever? It's been a long time, almost for life.
And it's like, that's the difference. The big question goes down to this now that we're in this topic. Do you think he runs a third time?
No, I don't think he runs a third time because they're not going to let him. Number one, he has to change the constitution for it, and he has to go to the Supreme Court. He's not getting it. That's almost like a certainty as there is any. But the Americans, though, because I lived in America for a long time and I know them, I know how the Americans are not like the Europeans, that they care about the environment and they care about a bunch of nonsense that Europeans like to care. The Americans are straightforward. Is the economy doing well? Do I have my job? Or did I lose my job? And how high is inflation?
Can I pay my house? Can I pay my car? Can I pay my wife?
Can I send my kids to college? It's basically what it is. So if Trump managed to pull this off, to get a trade deal with everyone, basically, because he's fighting with everyone, okay? And while the economy doesn't take a hit and inflation doesn't spike, I mean, do you imagine? Let's just assume for a minute that inflation that doesn't spike because of tariffs, he managed to get a trading agreement with everyone, including China, favorable in his terms, okay? And inflation goes down in the next year. And then the stock market eventually is going to go up with everything that happens. Do you imagine how we won't hear the end of it?
No. Oh, no, for sure. My father said this, and it was like, imagine if he's able to pull it off. Whatever he wants to pull off, he's able to pull it off, where he gets inflation down, the American economy is roaring back again. He fixed everything he needed to fix. He blamed Biden for whatever downturn he had to buy. One of the problems analysts say is that he did the tariffs too late into his presidency last time. That's why he's doing them early this time, just to get them out of the way.
Yes, that was 2018. He started in 2016 and he started negotiating trading like right away. With China got into it like later. And he realized that by the time he got the agreement done, he was out of office. And then as soon as Biden came in, the Chinese did not keep their end. And here we are. So now he did it in day one. Day one,
Yeah.
get it done by the first 6 months. 6 months, it should be done. It should be agreed, celebrated, and then we get on with our life because he has other issues to deal with. But do you imagine pulling this off? I mean, there is a possibility that he pulls this off.
There is. The problem is like, at what cost? And what's the cost here, right? And there's so much. The thing is just like, even it was funny because I wanted Trump to win for the stock market to be good. Trump created opportunity. You know, the volatility allows for opportunity to come in. This time around, it's tricky because it's like, okay, like, what does he really want? And it's very difficult to predict Trump. But he's creating opportunities, you know? The person that missed NVIDIA is able to get back in. You know, the person that missed Amazon is able to get back in. Meta, Apple, who knows? If it keeps going lower, there's opportunities for people to be buying this market too.
Okay. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Nobody's jumping into NVIDIA at 90. Everybody's just saying it's too risky. Okay. It's very few between that they're gonna jump into. I mean, I bought AMD yesterday after like when the day when it was like 10% down and it's like 50% down from its highs. I think it's more than 50%. It takes a certain kind of individual to jump into that. So for the people that say, I wish I could buy Nvidia at 90, no, you didn't, because you were shitting yourself when it was like done.
Yeah. It's interesting. A lot of people say it's like, oh yeah, like I'll just wait until it drops. I'll just wait until it drops.
You know what? That's the best joke. You know what? If I hear that from people, do you know what I think? Okay, you just started investing. Poor you. I give you a year or two.
It's interesting because it's like, it changes the story, but also there is opportunity there. You know, I think there's opportunity. Like I remember, I went into the NVDLs at 90, and I was able to get the same exposure I had with the stock with less money, just to have cash on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
It felt right. You know what I mean? I slept really nicely that night. The next day I woke up, I felt refreshed. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, by the way, do you know when the 100 days for Trump is, which is outrageous, the fact that he hasn't even been in office? Oh wait, no, that's wrong. Yeah, that might be right.
I think it should be, so the 20th of April first is going to be 90 days, right?
Correct. Around.
What is it? 1st of May?
Like around. I'm asking ChatGPT here just to get it. April 20.
April 29th is the 100 day. So he created this mess worldwide
In less than 100 days. and he has every single major CEO, government official trying to figure out what they're gonna do. This has been a massive reshuffle of everything. Tells you how much power he has, and he knows it too.
And he knows it.
That's the problem, is he knows it, and he. You know what? Obama and Biden, they were silent leaders. You know what they said had meaning and power.
You know what? I have an opinion about that. I don't think there were silent leaders. I think his background, Trump's background, has everything to do with what he's doing. He's from New York. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know New Yorkers from the city, from Manhattan, okay, this is what they are. This is the stereotypical New Yorker, okay, loud and unapologetic. He's gonna say he has an opinion, and he's gonna
He'll let you know. He'll let you know.
And he grew up with these people, the Wall Street people, because he wasn't from the city. He grew up in Queens, and then he made his way to the city. So there's a backstory. So he doesn't like the people in Wall Street, and now he has a chance to stick it to them. He grew up with money, around New York. He knows the New York feeling. Biden and Obama, they're from a different background. They're not from New York. So I think that has something to do with it.
But it's like, it's who said this? Was it you that said this? Like, the king of tariffs was Biden. You know what I mean? Or
yeah, because Trump came in, he put the tariffs on China, then Biden came in, like very silently. He didn't take them, he increased them, but because he did it in style without the press conference, and his staff, they weren't stupid to just announce it to everyone, he increased the tariffs on China on semiconductors.
yeah. Yeah, and there's been protectionism in America for even longer, right? So it's like he's just in your face and everything at the same time is
Yes.
what creates the issue here.
You know what's another issue? So we were watching together the April 2nd Liberation Day. We did the live. Right? Remember?
Yeah.
And initially, the market went up at the beginning of the press conference.
Because he has said, 10% for everybody.
Yes. So the market expected reciprocity, like 10, 20%, whatever that is, because he campaigned on tariffs. It wasn't a secret. It was well telegraphed, like months ahead. But then he comes with that chart and throwing numbers that nobody knows how they got to 65% on China.
You know what they say is that they were trying to, so the deficit, they grabbed the deficit and it was just the percentage of the deficit. So the percentage was equal to the deficit they had in relation to the other country.
Yeah, but you know what? Just say that instead. Don't tell me that.
But you figure it out with a NASA scientist.
That's where he lost the market, because I expected 10, 20%. Okay, it's not so bad. 10, 20% is decent. I mean, it would much rather to be like zero from everyone, but it's not. But then you come up with random numbers that don't make no sense, and then you wondering why the market reacted to that.
Yeah. Well,
What?
the theory is that the numbers were invented because he was gonna take them away, and he really wanted to get 10%. I thought he was gonna go in 15% and then put it down to 10% if they made a deal, or 5% if they made a deal. My base case scenario was a blanket tariff 15%.
Yeah, I believe so too, that the ones that he wants to make a deal was like higher. So get them to the table. Okay? But you can't just make things up. You have to give your reasoning why it's that number. And if your reasoning has some merit, then the market would understand. But when you claiming reciprocity, but what is today? 245% on China?
245%, and then the further escalation goes down to embargo and
Yeah.
the listing of stocks.
There you go. I mean, what are we talking about? But which, by the way, I said As you said on the chat earlier that you want to do a poker game.
Which one?
You want to do a poker game on
Yes, I
video,
want to. I want to do a poker game. We
but
need
Trump is playing the greatest game of poker ever.
correct.
And all the chips, NVIDIA, AMD, is in the middle of the table.
Correct.
They're playing
Correct.
about the
Yeah. It is the center. It is the center of the universe right now. The AI revolution. The people don't see it. They think that it was a bubble. They think that this is not important. Every single day, I realize that it's not. Like it's.
Would you say that the semiconductor sector, since it's your specialty and expertise, do you think it's still a cyclical sector, or we are well ahead of that?
I think the market wants it to be cyclical.
Yeah.
I think the market wants it to be cyclical, and we're gonna get some cyclicality, but only sales will tell. And I don't think we see the drop down in sales that people are expecting at all. Could we see a reshuffling of the market? Maybe. I just don't see how we can stop this. Yeah, I really, really don't. I don't. I just what people are creating, it's like with the invention of social media, Meta is worth how much? 2 trillion? Sitting at 2 trillion?
1.2, yeah.
And it's like we've creating so much value with social media, not only in major companies, because that's only a fraction of the true business that goes through social media. What are we gonna create with intelligence in your pocket? You know what I mean? A guy that I was listening to today described it really well. It's like if with a phone we were able to create what we have created, imagine what we will be able to create having access to the smartest person on every topic that you want to develop.
You know what? We have that already. We have it already. No, okay. So would you say that the information we have on the internet, if you do a little bit of work, a little bit of digging, it's not as easy as asking ChatGPT, but you can get information, more information that all the people that they have lived before you combined.
I 100% agree on that. Sure.
But what people do, they just watch cat videos.
Correct.
On YouTube.
Correct.
So what makes you think that when your Tesla Optimus robot that you're going to have in your house that has the capability to answer any question, it's smarter than any human ever lived, but you're only going to ask him to do your coffee. You're not going to have an intellectual conversation with him or eat, would you?
They already are. People already are. The thing is like, so innovation is driven by 1% of the population.
Yes.
Changing the world is not everybody's job. 90% of the people enjoy their life, and then 10% of the people want something crazy, and then you have 1% of the people that truly change the reality that we live in.
Changing the world, like in the last 20 years, you can just point to 20 people. Like if you're going to say Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates.
Yeah, and you have and it takes a lot of smart people. Don't get me wrong, right? And it's not only their achievements, but it's maybe not one person that drives this, but it's one person that's able to position themselves in a place to take advantage of this. And I think that that's the important bit here is the people that early adopted this and are able to create the new reality. I mean, I've seen my own productivity has 100x. My own, you know what I mean? It's like, and I'm like, I consider myself meh. You know what I mean? I'm nothing crazy, nothing, but just understanding some sectors or topics or things, I'm able to use these tools towards my personal goal, my personal objectives. It's funny because it's like, what is the latest thing that has picked up in ChatGPT trends? It's like putting a picture of myself on ChatGPT and getting a Studio Ghibli picture. It's cool. And it's like, that's cool.
Okay.
For a prompt.
Yeah, it's cool, but isn't it the equivalent of watching cat videos?
I agree, 100%. The thing is 90% of people is going to be entertainment for it, like you're going to look for, but having access to this as like the way that you're able to learn, the way that you're able to understand, the way you're able to create, it has just changed so drastically. And this is just the beginning. You know what I mean? Like this is what can I say? This is like MySpace. You know, it's like, yeah, like, you know, like Google gave you access to the information of the world. Right? YouTube gives you access to many videos and the hard work of thousands and like millions of people that have recorded themselves, put a camera in front of them, and have given you knowledge. ChatGPT is able to create that. And then not only that, we're trying to make it better and better and better. And we're going to get to a point where it's like, I want to make an app. And then you just like, you make the app by telling the model just to make you an app. And it'll just give you the app that is specialized to you. You know, it's like how many apps in your phone that it's like they're good, but they don't do exactly what you want them to do.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you my latest use case. Right now, I'm dealing with UK taxes, and the first time I had to do UK taxes, it took me 6 months of learning, analyzing, studying, research, implementation, collection of documents, analysis of documents, everything 6 months. I have a lot of knowledge.
How long it took?
Right now, it's probably going to take a week. You know, and it's like the thing is like ChatGPT likes to hallucinate. So you need to have a core understanding of the rules. But after, you just give it the information. I'm able to upload all my bank statements to ChatGPT and just run it, create a table, do the Excel for me. So it's like what used to take an hour now takes a minute. What used to take a week takes a day. What used to take a month takes a week. So it's like all of a sudden we're moving a lot faster. And the beautiful thing here is that the top performers are in the S&P 500 companies, right? The top performers in the world.
So that's why we're getting a bear market every 2 years now?
I think we are in a bear market, and I think it's not normal the way that it is. You want to know why? Because it's like, it's just.
Do you think we're in a bear market now?
Yeah, I think we're in a recession. Like if we didn't have the technology we had, we would be in a recession right now.
It's a different thing. I'm talking about just the stocks. Is it like, are we in a bear market?
We are in the thing is like, if I'm talking about it, like it's interesting because the BlackRock chief said we are in a recession right now, but I don't think we're gonna get recessions like we got in the 1920s, where it was mostly an industrial economy, where it's like job equals output. It's like right now, it's like the job of one person equals the output of thousands of people. You know what I mean? And it's like
engineer is like has the output of 1,000 like factory workers. Yeah,
correct. And then now we're going into more and more of that, where the people that are proficient at something are able to grab this tool and enhance their capabilities drastically. Right? So it's like all of a sudden it's like, yeah, maybe we get to a place where it's like universal income because we solve world hunger, because we solved the biggest issues that plague humanity today. Right? And then you're able to focus on the things, whether it's entertainment or arts or right. But it's like, what would it take? You know, and it's like right now it's why is Silicon Valley so important? You know, it's because the knowledge was there. The knowledge all went to the same place and it was knowledge working together. But right now, like, I don't have to go meet somebody in Silicon Valley. I'm just able to create a community. You're in Cyprus. I'm in the UK. We're able to like talk, discuss, do things. This would cost so much money if we had to travel each time we did an episode, right? How much money are we saving from travel expenses to hotel expenses to camera here to all of the things because we're just able to put everything right in front of us, right? So the economy, the exponential growth we see going forward, it just keeps going exponentially, right? Like it's right. Like if in the 2000s we had this issue with tariffs, it would have been such a bigger issue because in order for a company to redesign their supply chains, they had to go and they had to talk to people, and it was contracts on the phone. Now I just get on a Zoom call. I get on Teams. And I'm able to speak to the whole company in minutes. You know, it's like, so this paradigm shift has allowed for productivity to flourish in such a beautiful way. And it's like, again, I'm only one of the guys, you know what I mean? But it's like, I imagine like the things that are being created by other people that are just brilliant in their fields, like coders that are able, like people are coding like full things just with the use of ChatGPT on their side, right? And the brilliant people are going to create insane things.
So are you suggesting that as technology progresses and everything goes faster, including growth, including innovation, then it's just a natural evolution of markets to move faster as well. So we get more violent bull markets
Bear markets.
and bear markets.
Yeah, for sure. Like how easy it is for, like, I call this the virus effect, right? You're 5 people away from the president of the United States, 5 contacts away from anybody in the world, right? But that's also information, right? Like now I'm able to put, for example, CNBC, how many views do they get, and how does the information travel in that sense, right? It's like information travels so quick. Right. So that's why markets freak out, because it's like everybody has access to the same information, but the information is there really quickly. You're able to act first. There are computers that are analyzing that information, and they have people in those places. So it's like, are you going to try, like, if you try to day trade or you try to like like, second trade against a computer, you're never going to win, because they're able to analyze the information just like that. Right. Like they're able to analyze the tokens so quickly. But yeah, I mean, like all it takes is I have access to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Like that's it. It's I'm wherever I am, as long as I have like a phone connection, I'm good. Right? And it's like, yeah, there are places in Scotland that don't have signal, which I hate. Don't get me started on that. Starlink even gives you access to it. So it's like we are making it so much easier for you to be able to be connected to the world economy. And it's funny because there are days where I wake up and I'm like, half these people are not even thinking about Trump on a day-to-day basis. I had to buy freaking wireless headsets to walk around the city
But
with.
so wait. If you're not invested in the markets and you're not invested not just on your behalf, but on behalf of other people like we are. So we have to know about Trump. We have to know what he's thinking, what he's saying, what he's doing. But if you are not invested and your work, your job is not related to the financial markets, so whatever the market does doesn't make a difference to you. Do you really have to know what Trump does or says? Because it doesn't make a difference. Why would you want that stress to know he's fighting with China?
You don't, but at the same time, you should. You don't have to know. But the UK right now has gone through the highest unemployment spike we've seen since COVID. So all of those people are getting affected because of what the government is doing. So it's like, yeah, you can be in your boat, and your boat doesn't need to be part of this system. And 90% of people don't need to pay attention because they're not driving the boat. But the people like you and I are driving boats. We've decided we want to drive the boats. So we got to keep out for the storm, And the thing is, like, even understanding how this affects you, it's like, yeah, like you cannot do much about it. But it's not how news hits you, it's how you react. What do you do when you react like this? When Trump says something like this, okay, like, and now I understand, my picture gets clearer. I make closer to next time making a decision, whether I need to make a decision or not.
You know what? If I'm doing something, for example, if I'm traveling and I can go on the internet and see what the market are doing, and then I get off the plane after 4 or 5 hours and I see something ridiculous happen and I don't know what happened. You get a little bit panicky, like for a minute, because you want to know what happened. But if you know what is going on, and if you're watching the Fed, Jay Powell talking, and then the market goes down, it's almost like a comforting feeling that you know what's going wrong. And when you know what's going wrong, that's half the job, basically.
Correct. It's knowing that it's like, okay, this is bad, but it's not as bad as people are making it out to seem. We're not going to see a massive crash.
Yes.
And this is why, you like, having information allows you to make better decisions, but too much information can make you make a decision late. So sometimes it's just a matter of making the decisions. I mean, we are decision makers. 90% of our decisions is hold steady. My research has not changed.
Yeah, but it's a very thin line between reading and listening the information, getting the parts of the information that they are useful to you, and just reject the opinions. Because you want the news, you want the data, you want the facts, and you keep your opinions. That's why I like financial media and not political media. The financial media, they give you the facts and the data. Okay, Nvidia, it's 104 today. It was 111 yesterday. It's down 5-6% because maybe such and such. The political media, they give you a political view, which it's completely irrelevant in markets.
Yeah.
It doesn't
It's funny.
at all.
It's funny because Trump does the same. When you listen to Trump, you're looking for very particular words. You know, like Trump is like the first thing he does whenever he talks about the war. If I had been president, the war wouldn't have happened. That's politics, right? And then, but then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, the countries are gonna get more tariffs. Important. You know what you're looking for. But even now, you can sort of like, even Trump right now, it's still very political, but you still have to pay attention to it.
Yes.
You know, because then it gives you an idea of what is he trying to accomplish here. Because again, interestingly enough, when we talked about how the Fed has tools, he has tools too in the way that he expresses himself to the public.
Yes.
And what he says might not be what he wants. You know, he might say something in order to move the vote or certain people in a certain way. You know, and you have to learn to see that. You learn to see through the statements. And sometimes it's just like, okay, he spoke, whatever. Like, and then that meant nothing. And then the market reacts, and you're like, I actually disagree for the market reaction. And then it gives you an opportunity to get in.